Welcome back to the channel, bringing you the latest news from around the world. Along the world's longest undefended border, Canada has sealed off key land routes to Alaska for American travelers and commercial trucks. The historic Alaska Highway, once bustling, now sits silent at the Beaver Creek crossing, blocked by RCMP barricades. Long-haul truckers and families on summer vacations are stranded, their plans and livelihoods upended overnight. The closure was swift and unexpected, severing a vital corridor and creating a logistical and political crisis for thousands. This isn't just a minor dispute, it's a hard stop on a lifeline connecting Alaska to the lower 48. The blockade extends beyond the main highway, with similar restrictions at other crossings and increased scrutiny on ferry routes. Canada is flexing its geographic leverage, reminding the US that access to Alaska is a privilege, not a right. For Alaskans, this move transforms their usual isolation into a vulnerability, threatening the flow of goods and their connection to the rest of the country. The question now: how did we reach this point and what comes next? The world is watching as a once open border becomes a flashpoint. Canada frames the closure as a necessary response to environmental threats, citing permafrost damage and disrupted caribou migration along the highway. But beneath the surface, Indigenous land rights are at play, with First Nations demanding modern agreements that respect sovereignty and environmental protection. The timing also follows new U.S. tariffs on Canadian lumber and dairy, making the closure a pointed act of retaliation. By targeting the Alaska Highway, Canada wields a unique pressure point, one that hits American logistics and sovereignty. This is a bold assertion of Canadian independence, signaling that trade, environmental standards, and Indigenous rights are not up for negotiation. The move shatters the old perception of Canada as the junior partner forcing the U.S. to the table. While couched in regulation, the closure is a strategic maneuver, geography as a bargaining chip. The stakes for both nations have never been higher. Former President Trump's response was immediate and incendiary. From Mar-a-Lago, he called Canada's move a profound betrayal and accused them of holding Alaska hostage. Trump painted the closure as backstabbing by a supposed ally, blaming the current administration for projecting weakness. He linked the crisis to long-standing trade grievances, claiming Canada has exploited U.S. generosity for years. "We built that highway to defend North America, and now they block it? Outrageous," he declared. Trump demanded sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods and a review of all bilateral agreements, even hinting at rethinking security arrangements. "If they want to play games with our access, everything should be on the table," he warned. He insisted this never would have happened under his watch, framing the crisis as a direct result of his successor's policies. Trump's rhetoric turns the border standoff into a campaign rallying cry, fueling domestic outrage. The threat of escalation looms as Trump's base rallies behind his call for tough retaliation. The crisis is no longer just foreign policy, it's a political weapon. The US-Canada alliance faces its most public test in decades. The world waits to see how Washington will respond. The Alaska Highway is more than a road, it's Alaska's economic and logistical lifeline. Billions in goods from groceries to medical supplies travel this route each year, keeping Alaskan shelves stocked. With the closure, Alaska must rely on costly sea and air freight, driving up prices for everyone. The highway is also a designated military corridor, vital for moving personnel and equipment to key Arctic bases. Its closure complicates national security and military readiness. The tourism industry, a major economic driver, faces devastation as the land-based travel season is abruptly canceled. Small businesses along the route risk financial ruin. For Alaskans, the highway is a symbol of connection and freedom. Its closure deepens their sense of isolation. The crisis raises urgent questions about Alaska's long-term security and viability. The road's closure is a blow to both identity and survival. The blockade threatens to unravel decades of US-Canada cooperation, introducing uncertainty into a once stable alliance. By weaponizing geography, Canada has set a precedent. Future disputes may now carry the threat of similar disruptions. High-stakes diplomatic talks are underway, with the US demanding the highway's reopening and Canada pressing its environmental and trade concerns. The risk of escalation is real. Tit-for-tat sanctions could disrupt industries and supply chains on both sides. A full-blown trade war would be disastrous for both economies. The crisis may force the US to rethink its reliance on Canadian routes, spurring investment in alternative supply lines. Ambitious projects like new ports or US-only roads may be revived. Regardless of the outcome, trust has been shaken. The once undefended border now feels uncertain. The future of North American partnership hangs in the balance. The Alaska Highway remains closed, with travelers and cargo stranded as urgent talks continue. The White House seeks de-escalation, but pressure mounts for a tougher response. This crisis is a stark reminder of how fragile even the strongest alliances can be. It affects supply chains, prices, and national security for all Americans. The key question, is this a temporary standoff, or the start of a new era of tension? The stakes are high, and the outcome will shape the continent's future. For now, the border is a dead end, a symbol of a friendship at risk. The world watches, waiting to see if diplomacy can restore the road to Alaska.